Whether you're coming to Japan next month for the World Championships or plan on coming to Japan at some point in the future, this video will teach you everything you need to know about how to enter gym battles in Japan. So let's get right into it. We'll be using Daichi Shimada, who you may know, second place at World Championships last year, is also a content creator, so lots of great content. I'll be going over a video that he made showcasing how to enter gym battles, but it can be a little bit hard to understand if you're not as familiar with Japanese, so I'll be dubbing over and explaining some of the important things that he's covering and talking about. So now, while you're here, let's go ahead and get into this action. So first of all, you're going to want to have an account. So how to make an account. This is my page, for example. If I just go ahead and log out, for example, you're going to want to go ahead and just click through this. It's the players.pokemon-card.com/login. You're going to go register now, make an account, and follow the prompts. One thing that you should know, though, you will need to input an address. You can probably use the address of your Airbnb or somewhere that you know, and you will also need a phone number to put in. To my understanding, that phone number does need to be a Japanese phone number, and it's always my recommendation for people coming over to Japan to have a Japanese SIM card. It's easier that way. It's cheaper than using something like AT&T Day Pass, where you're paying $15 per day, $10 per day. You can buy a SIM card and pay $30 to $45 to get an entire month's worth of coverage, and if you're here for that long, it's definitely worth it. So I recommend doing that. And I'm sure there's things where you can proxy phone numbers or whatnot, but you will need a Japanese phone number to insert in to verify, as well as, of course, a mailing address and to verify your age. So once you do that, though, what you're going to want to do is, again, you can translate this page. Just go ahead and right-click, translate to English. Use that. You're going to want to go to the event tab. Under that, you're going to want to go to event search. Click on that, and here's where we get into things. So this will showcase all the tournaments happening. Now, we are sort of in the off season right now. This is recording in July. During the season, there may be a little bit more tournaments, things like City League tournaments, Trainers League, even some of the larger things like Champions Leagues that are going on. But no need to worry, I'll showcase everything you need to do. So as Daichi sort of goes through this right now, as explaining, you can add filters to search through your gym battles, and you can still use the search. You can see I'm not even logged in right now. I'm under nobody, so you don't need to make an account right away. You can wait to Japan to make this, but you can still look up events. So for example, if I was in Japan right now and I wanted to go to a gym battle tournament, here's what I would do. First things first, you want to make sure you're in the right area. So click under the area. It should default to Tokyo or anywhere here. And you're just going to want to go to Tokyo and click that if you're staying in Tokyo. If you're staying in Yokohama or anywhere, you can click that. Yokohama, you are in Kanagawa Prefecture, so you'll want to go ahead and click that instead. And of course, it will either add more cases, so you just added 400 events, or if I'm going to just only do Kanagawa Prefecture, it would be 400 cases. But for this example, we're just going to go ahead and use Tokyo as our choice. There's plenty of gym battles happening, over 1,000 happening within the greater Tokyo area, I believe just today, just on this date. So what you can go ahead and do is check that out. You can also add conditions, so make sure you have gym events selected if you only want to enter into gym events instead of things like organizer events or other things that might pop up. This will sort of default everything. If you want to only find things on certain times, you can also click that. And of course, if you want to start it later on, whatever, all of that could be here. Click search. We'll go ahead and go through all of the specific cases that are going on. So now I have a Tokyo Prefecture gym battle event, and then it will pull everything up. So you can also search by keyword, you can also search by location, but this is my recommendation. Do your area, do the conditions you want, and then start looking. Now, what you're really looking for here as it pulls up results is you're looking to pay attention to a few things. Number one, you want to make sure you understand the format that's happening. Standard, if you want to play standard, and sometimes there's expanded or other tournaments that happen, so you want to make sure you're paying attention to that and you understand what you're getting into so you don't show up with a deck that you can't play with. Next is the participation fee. This is anywhere usually from 200 to 300 yen, so about $2 to $3 in your currency depending on where you live. And then the last but not least, honestly the most important thing besides knowing that you're playing standard or whatever format you want, is the amount of people. Make sure you pay attention to this. You want to show up to ones with bigger capacity is my recommendation, because you don't want to prep and go all the way out for a gym battle event and show up and there's 4 other people there. It's not going to be as exciting as you want. You're in Tokyo, you've got a lot of Pokemon players here. Make use of it. Go to gym battle events that have a lot more people, and they're not every day where they have as many, but you'll still find ones with bigger capacities. So as you're going through, 64 people, that's a pretty good size. Keep scrolling down and look out, 32 people, and you kind of can just keep going through until you find one that sort of catches your eye. So for me, let's say I'm looking for one probably later on in the day, so I would just keep scrolling down until I find something I'm looking for. You see there's different things for only younger kids for elementary school stuff. So it really ranges here. There's a lot of different gym battle events that are happening. This is what I'm talking about, like 8 people, 32 people. So if I could find one that has like 64 people, I think that's probably a good size to do this. So this one looks good right here. This is actually a tournament center in Takadanobaba. So this is a great place to go to play. I've played in this space before. So this will showcase sort of what's happening here. So Thursday, July 13th, this will also show me the address. Sometimes when you paste into Google Maps, one recommendation I have is to not add sort of the postal code, this first part that happens here. Just paste in this part, or even better, what you might actually need to do is paste everything in, but leave out this little T mark that's above there. It just makes it so that Google Maps can paste everything in. Look through everything. It showcases where things are happening, what time things are starting. You could even use this to showcase the map. It even shows you how far it is, right? So if you're taking the Ginza line, it's a 1-minute walk, so that's perfect. And then even if you go to Akihabara, 10-minute walk, not too bad, right? And then it will also showcase other things from the event organizer, so on and so forth. So once you want to do that, you don't need to enter online. You just show up at the specific time and you should be good. So this is sort of him going through all the different filters, what's happening, different events. Once you find your event that you want to go to, make sure everything is all set up and all good. You then go ahead and go to your event. So you're going to want to make sure that you have an account created before you show up for this event. And you can, again, do that through the way that I showed. Register your account, make sure you have a Japanese phone number and address, so on and so forth. This is, for example, what a play area looks like. They have taken down most barriers at this point, so it should sort of look very similar to what you're looking at a regular card shop, maybe in the States, on top of having some hand sanitizer here and there. Next thing you want to do, of course, is go to the front. Now, this can be a little bit intimidating. It can be a little bit tricky when you don't know your language, but lots of the Japanese store people, they'll sort of understand. They'll take a look at you, say, okay, maybe this person wants to enter the gym battle, or again, you could use some sort of translation service to show and enter what's happening. A lot of times they'll ask you questions. There will be something like a sign-up sheet right here. You can sort of see that in the bottom corner. You put in the name that your account is made up. So when you create an account, you can create a name. You can use your first name. A lot of people use sort of like nicknames for their account. So for example, if I logged into my account name is Hegster. So that would be what I write down there as well. And then you'll pay your entrance fee. So if we're looking at the event we looked at last time, our entrance fee would be, even this one is just, you have to spend 300 to 350 yen at the store. And you get your entrance fee in, so you're all set. So as long as you pay your entrance fee, you are set and good. And then you'll go ahead and pay. And the last part is you'll scan a QR code down here. So we'll see him go ahead and do that. You're going to want to scan the QR code. Sometimes they'll take your temperature. They're sort of moving a little bit away from that. I mean, this video is about a year old, so some things on that end have changed. You're going to want to scan that QR code, and what it's going to do is it's going to pull you up to a site very similar to this. If I go to my page, where it's going to have you log in just like you would log into your account normally. You'd put in your player ID or email and then the password for that account, and then it will pull up a screen. I'm sure he'll showcase somewhere here. So you'll go ahead and import that in, scan the QR code, put in your ID, and then it will show you you've entered, or it'll be a different screen. It will just say like member registration complete. You're all set, you're all good, and you'll sort of just sit around and wait. At this point, things vary a little bit differently depending on the size of what's happening. You're also going to want to, of course, make sure you bring the things you need to bring with you to an event. So you're going to want to make sure you bring your deck, your dice. You want to make sure you have a coin to flip as well. Lots of times, rolling a coin for odds and evens isn't really considered a form of randomization unless you're using one of like the Pikachu dice. So I recommend to bring a coin with you as well, and your V-Star marker. One more thing that this video doesn't show as well is a lot of the times at these bigger places, they'll use a tournament software to run through the tournaments and do pairings. It's very easy to use. All you do is you scan a QR code. You'll see everybody sort of like huddle around and scan the QR. So you'll scan the QR. It will take you to a site. Again, Google Translate's your best friend. If you can't read kanji, if you can't read Japanese, it's okay. Google Translate, and it will show you the rounds. It shows you who you're playing against, what table you're at, and it will give you all the information. You can report matches through the app. So those are ones where it's a lot better. So it's always a recommendation, especially if your Japanese isn't the greatest. You're going to want to go to these bigger events because they're more likely to use that software to do pairings instead of, I've had it happen sometimes where you have like 16 player gym battles and then you have to like write everything out on hand. You have to like show how many prizes you take, and it can be pretty complicated. So it's in my best interest, or rather in your best interest, to enter some of the bigger gym battle events. So you'll play through. Usually they're 3 to 4 rounds. You get a promo pack for entering. It comes with a 1-card pack. And then on top of that, prizes vary. Some places will have prizes with store credits, so you can win 1,000 yen or 10, essentially 10 US dollars if you go 3-0, for example. And different things vary depending on where you're going to and what you're dealing with, essentially. So that's an example of the gym pack right there that you can get. And then sometimes there'll be more things that's actually showing Grammatic, which is one of the gym promos that exists in there. So you're going to want to make sure you do that as well. And yeah, play and have fun. Make sure you have a good time. I'm going to be putting out a separate video or separate information about the things you need to know to play in one of these tournaments, the things that you need to know when you're going in and battling against different people. But that's a separate topic, so I'm going to cover it in a different video. Make sure you check that out because it will give you all the information you need to know. And that pretty much wraps up what you need to do. Not too complicated, right? Nothing too crazy to do. I'll have some more information down in the link below. There's 2 great gym battles I like to go to at the same place in Takadanobaba. It happens twice a week on Tuesdays and Wednesdays twice. So there's one at 6 p.m. and there's one at 8 p.m. They're 3 rounds each. There's a lot of great competition. There's a lot of good players that show up there. And more importantly, it's easy to play through the events. They use that software I was talking about. And there's lots of Pokemon players, lots of players that show up. So you're going to have a good time there for sure. So I'll leave the information about that. I'll put the address to that shop down below in the description. And let me know in the comments below, or comment, send me a message if you need help with anything, or if you want more information about how to enter these gym battle tournaments, because I'm here to help and provide some information, especially for these players and fans coming over to the World Championships in August. Thanks for watching, checking it out. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video.